Everybody likes a little change from time to time, especially when it comes to the landscaping around your property.
Yeah, and who better to discuss that than the Georgia gardener himself, Walter Reeves. Today, Walter takes on the subject of hydrangeas.
Hey everybody, I'm Walter Reeves at Woodlands Garden in Decatur, Georgia. My grandmother was just a genius when it came to growing hydrangeas. And she could have pink hydrangeas, she could have blue hydrangeas, but she always had a special formula of something she would add to them to make them change colors. She could have a pink hydrangea one year, 2 or 3 years later it would be blue. And conversely, one year you see a blue hydrangea in the garden and within a couple of years, hey, it'd be pink. How did she do that? Well, she didn't have to tell me the secret because I went to high school and I learned in 11th grade about pH. And pH is just the measurement of how acid or how alkaline the soil is. And that is what changes the color of hydrangea flowers, in particular these mop-head hydrangeas right here. So if you have a blue hydrangea, how can you make it turn pink? It's easy. You change the pH. Well, how do you change the pH? You have to go back to 11th grade and figure out how to change the pH to make the soil alkaline. Now, anybody who's gardened for a while knows that you use lime to make soil alkaline, right? And so I got a box of agricultural lime, and I'm going to take about a tablespoon of it and mix it in a bucket of water to dissolve it. Now, it won't all dissolve, I know that. But when you have a blue hydrangea, put about a tablespoon or 2 of agricultural lime in a bucket of water, dissolve it as best you can, and then pour that around your blue hydrangea. And when you pour that around a nice shrubby blue hydrangea, do that once a year for a couple of years, all of a sudden it'll turn pink because it'll make the aluminum in the soil no longer available and the bloom will turn pink. But suppose you have a pink hydrangea and you want to turn it blue. What do you do then? Well, you have to acidify the soil then. And how do you change the acidity of the soil? We add sulfur. So you go to the store, get some agricultural garden sulfur, big tablespoon in the bucket. You know what comes next. Stir it around real good. And of course, for both of these, you read the label to find out exactly how much you need for a big shrub versus a small shrub. But a lot of times I do mix it with water to get it dissolved as best I can. And then I pour that on the ground next to my pink hydrangea. So making the soil acid makes a pink hydrangea turn blue. Making the soil alkaline with lime makes a blue hydrangea turn pink. Yeah, if you can remember that and go back in the deep, dark past to remember there in your 11th grade science class about what pH is, you can change the color back and forth, and your grandchildren can say, now, how did Grandpa or Grandma do that? How did they change the color? Stay tuned, lots more garden tips on the Georgia Farm Monitor.